We should be live.
Awesome.
Yay! So hey everybody, welcome back to as it stands, week 12, episode 12 of the hashtag Unite Kindness, hashtag Health at Home campaign series. We are in our final month. My name is ATHLETICA and I'm the proud founder of ATHLETICA Rewards. And I'm very proud to have Ken Lubin with me again from Executive Athletes as we bring in our guest today, Brian Suddarth, the founder and owner of Just Wetsuits. So before I hand the mic over to Ken, who I'm super excited about this interview, just so everybody knows, because you know my athletic background, Ken does not have a swimming background. So this is a perfect Q&A to learn a little bit more about an incredible company that's based out of the US. But to stay tuned, this episode will be posted on the ATHLETICArewards.ca or .com website later on. You can check out more information and it will also be archived. But make sure to tune in and check out some of the neat things that are coming through for the next couple weeks, because our next series that you'll be able to watch is a company called Sensitiva, which is a Canadian-based company that's supporting athletes with CBD products. But without further ado, I am going to pass the mic over to Ken, who is going to learn a little bit about swimming. And Brian, I'm pretty sure you're going to be one heck of a good coach to give him the ins and outs of your incredible company and what got you involved with it and where you're at today.
Oh,
awesome.
my God.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brian. So it's awesome to have you on board here. It's amazing. And the wetsuit business, like Angela was saying, I know nothing. I know everything about downhill suits and ski racing, but different suits, different world that we're in there. But, talk to us about Just Wetsuits. What prompted you to start the business? I'm sure there's a need out there that was a gap that, you wanted to fill, but tell us about yourself and why the whole thing started.
Well, I think a lot of it, Just Wetsuits started back in 2008, 2009 is when we started. And first, really when we started seeing online sales, a lot of people, stores themselves were not carrying the wetsuits in general, but more importantly is just providing or getting that customer service from a very knowledge-based company was hard to find. Currently, I'd have to say I have the best customer service. I'm a little biased because it's my wife, but no, we, our whole goal was to make sure we provided the best quality products to the athletes and try to alleviate some of the fear of swimming, as well as, again, getting them into the right suit. And with web-based, it's all about customer service. In my opinion, I'm kind of old school like that. I love customer service, and that's what our goal was.
So what about, talk to us about, for those who don't know much about the wetsuit world that are watching us, tell us about the differences and, the benefits of using wetsuits during races and open water swimming and everything else.
Absolutely. I think if you want to look at the major benefits of a triathlon wetsuit, first of all, let's deviate and go triathlon wetsuits compared to, say, a dive suit. Is if you wanted to go out and swim in a dive suit, you're going to be miserable, or race in a dive suit, you could be miserable. But a lot of that is because that's made out of open cell neoprene compared to wetsuits, which triathlons are specific for open water swimming, is closed cell neoprene. And they also have a coating on it. So really, if you're looking for a wetsuit, what the benefit is buoyancy. It provides a buoyancy, and for me, I need all the help I can get. Also warmth, and then speed. If you ever look at any pro triathlon or whatnot, you're going to most likely, if it's wetsuit legal, you're going to see a pro in a wetsuit. And that's a lot of it's because of speed.
Interesting. And tell us the difference between open cell and closed cell. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. I mean, basically what you're going to find is with triathlon wetsuits, you're going to get wet. It repels the water. Okay. So what's happening is when it repels the water, it allows you to glide through the water very efficiently. With that, say if you're diving, you have more of an open cell and you're going to get a lot of water that just keeps on seeping in. The goal with a triathlon wetsuit or an open water wetsuit is it's going to be skin tight. Some people, I'm not familiar with it. It's going to feel like Spanx. I mean, it is supposed to be a second skin. You just get a small layer of water in between you and the suit, and that actually helps you the suit loosen up a little bit, and then you're able to perform to maximum ability.
No, believe me, if my swimming experience, I'll tell you a funny story. My first triathlon swim experience lasted about 100 meters. We jumped in at one end of the dock, and I got out of the other end of the dock because, a lot like you, I needed buoyancy, and I swim like a rock. So I'm sure for people out there, you know, buoyancy is important, but tell us a little bit about the buoyancy piece of it.
Yeah, and I actually want to piggyback off that. My wife had the same situation. We were first triathlon, Lake Tempe Town Lake, and she borrowed a neighbor's suit, and it was way too big. And when she was swimming, it was like she was carrying an extra 10 pounds of water just because the suit was way too big, and she didn't know any different. So she was like, oh my God, it almost died on this suit. But if you look at it, what you're talking about buoyancy is, one thing about a triathlon wetsuit, because of USAT rules, it's never going to be more than 5 millimeters thick. Outside of that, it's against the regulations. So what they will do, depending on the suit, is they're going to put specific panels and thickness within, say, the hip area or areas in where we, like guys, we need the help and everything else. You're going to find some in the chest panels as well as the back. But what you'll find is these panels, or the buoyancy in general, is going to be specific for the suit and specific for the swimmer, because there's a lot of collegiate swimmers, they don't want buoyancy. They just want a nice thin 2 to 3 millimeter suit to cut the water temperature, you know, warm, keep them a little bit warmer, and then as well as increase their speed. So really the buoyancy is, you're really looking at specific areas. Each company has their own little proprietary dome or whatnot, but at the end of the day, the buoyancy is really trying to keep you streamlined and so you can be more efficient through your swim.
What are 2 or 3 things people should look at if they're going to look for a wetsuit, right, for the first time, and they're going to see,
That's a great question.
I want a wetsuit. How do I do it?
I'm glad you asked that, because one thing that we talk about this quite a bit at dinner, and other times my wife, we get so frustrated because sometimes people get so focused on the name of the brand, or, you know, just because of marketing, or they're looking at the cost of the suit. And every brand has specific cost. The number one thing that you have to do is don't get married to a brand. I mean, that is completely a bad thing to do. At Just Wetsuits, what we're really focused on is putting you in the right suit, because we don't care which brand we sell. We carry 9 new brands, and the reason we carry 9 different brands is because of the each brand fits individuals differently. So the most important thing that you need to look at when you do anything is your weight. Don't lie about it. Be true to it. It is truly your weight. One thing on your weight, though, is when you look at a brand that you're interested in, each brand has a sizing chart that's different. It's not universal throughout the world. Each of them is different. But the most important thing is to look at your weight. We always recommend, if you're 4 pounds on the upper end of that weight chart, to upsize. But then from weight, then you'll go into your height and sometimes in your chest measurements, because that's really another big thing. And but weight is the most important thing. People get caught up on height, but really you should look at your weight first, and then make sure you look at each brand at their specific sizing chart, because like I said, Orca will be, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and MT and Blue 70 could be small, medium, large. Same thing with Zoot. So you need to look at each of them differently. And then the next thing I always look at, so we look at the weight first, and then we look at trying to find the right suit. Then the next thing is your ability. We looked at a scale, you know, say 1 to 10. Are you looking for something that has more buoyancy? Are you looking for something with less buoyancy? You're swimming, if you be more of a natural swimmer, you could be a progressive swimmer, which I am, a sink and swim, sink baby, I'm sinking. Then after that, the last thing that we look at really, and I say last, but it's we always want to make sure we get the customer into a budget that they're looking to invest in. That's really where we're at. Each brand is a little bit different, and there is reasons that the cost changes, and we can go through that later on if we want.
No.
Did that answer your question?
It does. It does. No, again, very similar thing to the world of downhill suits we're talking about in ski racing, right? You don't get married to a brand. Make sure what fits, what's going to perform to what you're looking for, because that's probably some of the most important things out there with this whole thing, right? Is make sure it works for you and what's going on.
Exactly. And there is a lot of misinformation out there. I mean, I respect all the people out there, but I mean, sometimes, you know, when you're taught one thing, it might not actually be the right information, or it was it's been outdated because, you know, the technology has changed drastically over the years.
Or it could be fake news. So we don't know that one.
We could go fake news, or whoever has the best marketing budget that year.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So true on that front. So are the athletes they endorse, like that's the other thing too, is not getting, as you said, like stuck on a brand, because oftentimes the marketing budget, you start to see some of the incredible athletes that are out there promoting these wetsuits that, you know, again, that might not be particularly the right wetsuit for you as the individual. So it's so important to try the wetsuit on, feel comfortable in it. Yes, feel like it's like literally, like I always say, like the first time I ever tried a wetsuit on, Ken, I felt like Jane Fonda. Like I literally had to lay down, like when she put the skinny jeans on in Greece, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm getting in. Like it's like literally, so like it was like, I remember my first Ironman, like the woman that was at the end when I got out, that when you lay down and they whip the wetsuit off of you, like it's just like getting like suction cupped. It's like,
yep.
So
and you're like, thank God it's off.
Yeah, like it's saran wrap, like it's supposed to be super tight, and if you're not used to that, yeah, if you wear one that's too big, and I think we all have buoyancy stories, like you literally feel like you're drowning, like it's just like your arm weighs 50,000 pounds.
Yep.
So important to try the wetsuit on. Don't lie about your numbers, and yeah, like follow the best advice, which is really your own. Like it's tried, tested, and true. So everybody's each their own size.
And I think one thing's great about, and for us, is we also have a company called Wetsuit Rental. So we actually get to deal with or work with a lot of different, you know, individuals from height, weight, you know, size, female, male, I mean, everything. And what's great about that is it really gives us the feedback from the customer, the athlete, of what they, you know, what works for them, you know, because somebody could be a little shorter and stockier, and you know, a hoop that might not be the right suit for them, because you know, we have some suits I call them skinny jeans, just like you were talking, and then there's some that are a lot more forgiving in areas in which I'm grateful for.
Exactly. So where can people find, you know, in the essence of time, where can people find more about you and can reach out to you guys and you know, talk to us a bit about social and how to connect with you and what you're doing. Did I lose you?
Yeah. I think we're still at justwetsuits.com is our store. If you go there, you'll have all of our brands that we sell. Like I said, we have 9 different brands. We sell goggles, subscription goggles, a lot of accessories, our toll-free number, as well as call us if you have any other questions. You can follow us on Facebook, Just Wetsuits, as well as Instagram, etc. So the best thing is to do is jump on to our website, take a look at things, give us a call. We actually have Facebook chat on there. If you're going to chat with anybody, it's going to be myself or my wife. We're the two that run it. So if you're going to ever have any questions, it's going to be the owners that are going to answer it, and they're going to be able to address the issue right up front. And we have great working relationships with the brands that we work with.
That's perfect. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Like, thank you so much for sharing your time and obviously some fun stories. Hey Ken, you're just gonna have to like try that dock-to-dock swim this time with a little bit better wetsuit, I think. Maybe your wetsuit rental.
I bought a boat instead. It's easier.
You a wakeboarder? Surfer?
No, I don't know. I do everything. Somewhat bad, but I try everything.
Multi-sporter. So, but yeah, this is great. I think we'll definitely, you know, for those that are just tuning in or just logged in to join, we'll be sharing Brian and his company Just Wetsuits information following today's episode. You can check them out on Instagram and on Facebook, as Brian mentioned, at Just Wetsuits. And I think as well, if you're looking for trying out the wetsuits, they're there to answer questions. And you obviously have a rental company. So there's lots of really neat things if you're looking to get into the space of open water swimming. Don't hesitate to reach out. I think, especially at this time, as we've got incredible summer weather still with us in fall, it's the perfect time to be looking at it. And if you're just getting into triathlon, which is fantastic, because I've noticed a huge surge during the pandemic, where we've seen people become more exploratory, right? And I think this is a great time to get out with your family and your kids. Like, teach your kids how to swim. It's the biggest thing, and I don't care, you know, I think everybody, like, to leave on that note, it's a lifelong thing that they're going to always take with them, regardless of whether it's for swimming or whether it's for surfing or kiting. But just having basic water safety measures is a great thing. And I think that the introduction during this time of getting your family out to a lake or an ocean is a wonderful way to spend the summer and be safe. So thanks again, Brian, for joining us today, and Ken for co-hosting and asking some very good questions to learn a little bit more about the wetsuit industry.
And I appreciate everybody. I really do. Thank you.
Great. Take care.
Great. Bye.